আসসালামু আলাইকুম, মাই লার্নিং হোমে আপনাকে স্বাগতম। আজকে আমরা দেখব 45তম পিলিপিসিএস মডেল টেস্ট ইংলিশ লিটারেচার। Her voice is a music to his ears is an example of metaphor. I fear and hope, I burn and freeze in ice by Sir Thomas Whitty is an example of oxymoron. The foggy day mocks at my plan to wash cloth is an example of সঠিক উত্তর গ personification. বাংলাদেশ বিমান your home in the air is an example of simile. Which literary device can be found in the sentence she sells on the seashore? সঠিক উত্তর গ There is no one so poor as a wealthy measure. This is an example of paradox. A lexicographer is a person who writes dictionaries. Mythology is the study of various beliefs about সঠিক উত্তর গ gods and goddesses.
9 নম্বরের উত্তর হ।
হাইপারবোল অতিরঞ্জিত জিনিসকে ইংরেজি সাহিত্যে হাইপার বলা হয়। Choose the appropriate on among the four figures of speech for the following sentence. সঠিক উত্তর গ Dash is a literary term in which two contradictory words are put together or side by side. সঠিক উত্তর ক A person who writes play is called playwright. The sentence death thou shalt die is an example of paradox. 14 নম্বরের উত্তর হচ্ছে ঘ irony. The hungry judge soon the sentence sign and recess and that juryman may dine. This is an example of a satire. Time and tide wait for none. It is an example of personification.
17 নম্বরের উত্তর হচ্ছে ক আইরনি।
But one is not true. সঠিক উত্তর গ Soliloquy is the dramatic technique of speaking together on the stage. In English, if two different words have the same spelling and pronunciation, they are called homonyms. That is a brief and witty statement which is apparently self-contradictory. সঠিক উত্তর ক Dash is a negative statement that suggests very strong affirmative. সঠিক উত্তর ক Litotes. Applying human quality to non-human things is known as personification. Dash is an implicit comparison between two dissimilar or different things. It is called metaphor. Metaphor শব্দের অর্থ হচ্ছে রূপক. Which one of the example of metaphor? The lawn is the beautiful clean blanket we spread out over summer. We dry away like to the summer's rain. From the poem to daffodil is an example of simile. Greenwood Road. সঠিক উত্তর ঘ Lee Mort the Arthur, written by Thomas Mallory.
Duration of age of sensitivity is সঠিক উত্তর ক 1750 থেকে 1798।
Canterbury Tales is written by সঠিক উত্তর হচ্ছে Geoffrey Chaucer. Who translated the Bible into for the first time? John Wycliffe. Which is known as the Elizabethan period of English literature. 1558 1603. The Victorian age is named after Queen Victoria. Who is the evening star of scholasticism and morning star of Reformation? John Wycliffe. What is not true? সঠিক উত্তর ঘ All are true. Who was considered the author of the Christ? Canulf. Ecclesiastical history of the English people by Venerable Bede was written in Latin. King Alfred the Great inspired by supervised completion of the Anglo-Saxon Chronicle. The author of Dream of the Road, Canulf. Which of the following period encouraged literary freedom? সঠিক উত্তর Renaissance period. Who is the father of modern English poetry? Geoffrey Chaucer is of the flowing age in English literature history is latest Georgian age, which is the oldest period in English literature Anglo-Saxon. The period from AD 1666 to 1500 is known as Middle English period, which century was the Victorian period, 19th century. Which of the following first long poem in English? Beowulf. Which period is known as the Golden Age of English literature? সঠিক উত্তর গ, the Elizabethan age. Beowulf is an epic poem. Restoration period in English literature referred to 1660. Jacobean period of English literature refers to সঠিক উত্তর গ, which is known as the Romantic period of English literature. সঠিক উত্তর গ. The character Prospero, Alonso and Antonio are from সঠিক উত্তর গ, Tempest. Childhood shows the man as morning shows the day is a quotation. Paradise regained. Elizabethan tragedies center on revenge. Who wrote The Taming of the Shrew? William Shakespeare. King Lear is a tragedy. Mass Auto About Nothing, written by সঠিক উত্তর গ, William Shakespeare. Who wrote the Some books are to be tasted, other to be swallowed, and some fit to be sweet and disgusted? Francis Bacon. Who wrote Utopia? Sir Thomas More. Every Man in His Humor is the best work of Ben Jonson. Renaissance means the revival of life. European Renaissance refer to সঠিক উত্তর গ, rejuvenation of the arts and letters starting in Italy. The beginning of Renaissance may be traced by the city of Florence. One of the following is a Shakespeare unfinished play which is on this demon of Athens. When we are born, we cry that we are come to this great stage of fools is a quotation from King Lear. For God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love is a quotation from the Canonization.
Who is
University words in following list. Robert Greene. Who wrote the poem Good Mirror? Good Mirror লিখেছেন হচ্ছে জন ডান. Who wrote the poem To His Coy Mistress? সঠিক উত্তর ক, Paradise Lost. Attempt to justify the ways of God to men. I am a Jew, hath not a Jew eyes, hath not a Jew hands, organs. Where is this from? The Merchant of Venice. Better to resign in hell than to serve in heaven. Who said this and where? Satan in the Paradise Lost. Preparation period of Renaissance 1500 থেকে 1558. Total's Miscellany is the joint venture of Sir Thomas Wettis. সঠিক উত্তর ক, Henry Howard. Ralph Roster Doster, written by Nicholas Udall. Which is the Shakespeare's narrative poem Venus and Adonis. The rape of Luke, a lover of compliment. সঠিক উত্তর ঘ. Richardson did not write সঠিক উত্তর ঘ, The Funeral. Dr. Johnson's full name is Samuel Johnson. The satirical travel narrative Gulliver's Travels is written by Jonathan Swift. Gulliver's, a man of average height, gets anew into the pettiness of human nature when the arrives the land of the সঠিক উত্তর হচ্ছে গ. Who wrote the Where Ignorance is Bliss it is only flow be wise? সঠিক উত্তর গ.
Edmund Burke belongs to সঠিক উত্তর ক, 18th century.
Poet Alexander's famous work Poet of the Rape of the Lock. Who was the famous mock heroic poet in English literature? Alexander. Who is human to forgive is divine is quoted by Pope. Who considered to be the father of English novel? Henry Fielding. No, who is not a playwright? সঠিক উত্তর খ, Jonathan Swift. The other name of neoclassical play? সঠিক উত্তর আছে Ko. Who belongs to the neoclassical period? John Bunyan, John Dryden, John Locke, সঠিক উত্তর all of them. Which of the following is not written neoclassical period? The scholar Gypsy. Who is famous for his elegies? সঠিক উত্তর গ Thomas Gray. Who of the following was both poet and painter? সঠিক উত্তর গ Blake. The author of Songs of Innocence and Experience? William Blake. Which sentence is most applicable to Blake? সঠিক উত্তর খ Blake and diverse interest. American Taxation is a famous speech by Edmund Burke. Who of the following and Irish poet? সঠিক উত্তর খ Oliver Goldsmith. John Bunyan wrote The Pilgrim's Progress. The Mistaken Husband is comedy by John Dryden. William Congreve did not write A Tale of Two. Who wrote the play All for Love? John Dryden. Tom Jones by Henry Fielding was first published in the first of 18th century. The first half of the 18th century. What was the girl in the solitary repair doing?
When the pod saw her.
Singing and cutting the grain alone. Which of the following phrase-based characterized the late 19th century aesthetic movement? সঠিক উত্তর গ Art for Art's Sake. Who is the author of Pride and Prejudice?
Jane Austen. Jane Austen is the writer of Emma.
The Repair is a romantic poem. Which is known as romantic period of English literature? সঠিক উত্তর গ The Romantic Age English literature began with the publication of Pepys' two lyrical ballads. Which of the following is not true? সঠিক উত্তর ঘ John Keats belonged to 18th century. Find the ode on Mansfield Park. Lyrical ballads was published in the year 1798. Who wrote the biography literature? সঠিক উত্তর হচ্ছে S.T. Coleridge. Coleridge's poem The Rime of the Ancient Mariner is an ballad. In the Ancient Mariner, soldier could see shape of the sun through the board of the boat for those who died. Ethe of Ila was written by Charles Lamb. Who is considered to be the rebel poet in English literature? Lord Byron. John Keats is known as the romantic poet, so is Lord Byron.
Water, water, everywhere, not a drop to drink occurs in
the Ancient Mariner. Charles Lamb was an essayist. P.B. Shelley, Adonis is an elegy on the death of John Keats. The Trumpet of Prophecy. Oh, wind, if winter come, can spring be far behind? Who is the poet of this line? P.B. Shelley. Who wrote the book Ivanhoe? Sir William Scott. The last line of the patriotism by Sir Walter Scott. সঠিক উত্তর গ Unwept, unhonored, and unsung. Central idea of Ozymandias. All things both great and small will perish. A famous English poet who professionally known as a man of medicine is Keats. The latter part 18th century is characterized by intense love for nature.